Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney has lost her bid for re-election in Wyoming. Trump-backed candidate Harriet Hageman prevailed with more than 66% of the vote in Tuesday's Republican primary. The daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney has become one of the most vocal Republican critics of Donald Trump. She was one of 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach the former president in 2021. And Cheney currently serves as the vice chair of the House January 6th committee. Robert Costa has more from Jackson, Wyoming.
This primary election is over, but now the real work begins.
Moments after conceding in one of this summer's marquee races, Congresswoman Liz Cheney took the stage at dusk, with her father, former Vice President Dick Cheney, looking on, and outlined her next mission.
I will do whatever it takes to ensure Donald Trump is never again anywhere near the Oval Office, and I mean it.
Cheney quickly moved to set up a new political action committee explicitly focused on stopping Trump, whom she sees as a threat to democracy, due to the way he has convinced some Republicans to echo his baseless claim that the 2020 election was stolen. She also did not rule out a possible run for president in 2024.
Abraham Lincoln was defeated in elections for the Senate and the House before he won the most important election of all.
While Cheney has a national profile and fundraising base, her ambitions for a revival of traditional Republican politics face a stark political reality. The GOP here in Wyoming and in most red states remains the party of Trump. Cheney's Trump-backed challenger, Harriet Hageman, beat Cheney in a rout.
We are no longer going to tolerate representatives who don't represent us.
In a statement, Trump crowed about her defeat, saying Cheney can now finally disappear into the depths of political oblivion. She is now the 8th House Republican who supported Trump's impeachment following the Capitol attack to be heading for the exits after this term.
And Robert joins us now from Jackson, Wyoming. Robert, I have lots of questions. I know you have lots of answers. Something that's really stood out about Liz Cheney is her sizable campaign war chest. She received more than $14 million from out-of-state donors, compared to only about $338,000 from donors within her home state of Wyoming. I also understand she has $7 million left in her war chest. What's next for Liz Cheney? Is she going to be parlaying this, do you think, to a national election race?
It's certainly possible. When I spoke to Congresswoman Cheney yesterday, she said that this election, win or lose, would be the beginning of her next step in American politics, taking on former President Donald Trump. And should she decide to run for president in 2024, she would enter that race with many challenges due to the direction the GOP has taken, in the sense that it still embraces Trump and his ethos in many quarters. But she would enter that race with a national fundraising base. I've seen it up close as a reporter. It was just a few months ago, not here in Wyoming, but in McLean, Virginia, that I was staking out a fundraising event she had there. Senator Mitt Romney of Utah, and establishment Republican donors, longtime friends of the Cheney and Bush families, all attended this McLean fundraiser and helped to raise some of that $13+ million that she used in this contest. And now with her political action committee transforming in a new direction today, she could certainly use that as part of a presidential bid. It's likely she mulls the decision over the next few months, watches how the midterm elections play out.
Yeah, you know, as you're talking about Cheney, Bush, Romney, it strikes me that this is certainly the old Republican Party and those values, and we heard her talk about that as well. Do you think, Robert, that there is space for her in today's GOP? Should she run for president in 2024?
There's space in the sense that anyone who has a national following in Republican politics can seek the nomination, but it's going to be a challenging route to the nomination for someone like Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland, Congresswoman Liz Cheney of Wyoming, the Trump critics in the national GOP who have real roots in that establishment wing, the traditional wing of the Republican Party. They have donors, and they can probably raise between $10, $20, $30 million at some point. And there's going to be a place for them to gain some traction in a primary race. You look at the map, New Hampshire has always been a place where maverick candidates can get some kind of following, like Senator John McCain. I think back to the late senator's 2000 presidential campaign. But beyond New Hampshire, it's hard to see how it plays out with South Carolina and Florida moving so much in Trump's direction. Think about John Kasich, the former Ohio governor in 2016, did okay in New Hampshire, but after that, he struggled to get support.
And of course, it'll also depend on who else is in that primary race as well, because if we're talking about Florida, if Governor DeSantis is also a candidate, that might skew things as well. Robert, I'm wondering, how did the Cheney family legacy play into this race?
Just to your point for a second, that's a great assessment you just made, because
Thanks.
if Trump does get in early, some of my Republican sources say that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, and others who have made appeals to Trump voters, that they might not run, that they may say, hey, if Trump's in, we don't want to fight with Trump politically. We want to save our political capital for the future. And so that could, in a more narrow field, give an opening to someone like Cheney to come in and say, I'm going to be the Trump foil in this nomination race. And when you look at the 2024 race at this point, there's a lot of potential contenders, but no guaranteed contenders.
Right. You know, we only have a little bit more time, and I have so many more questions for you, Robert, but one of the most pressing ones is just, will Liz Cheney go back to the House January 6th committee? How does this election result affect any of those other things that are happening in Washington?
I'm happy if you want to blow out the show and talk politics for the rest of the hour.
You and I could do that. I'm not sure that everybody back in the control room would appreciate it as much. We'll talk more offline.
You're in control.
We'll talk more offline.
But anyway.
But we do need to know, obviously, with everything happening in the January 6th investigation, with her being such a formidable figure in that, where does that leave the January 6th committee, and where does that leave Congresswoman Cheney?
As she returns to the January 6th committee, she'll be on that committee through the fall and winter. She doesn't leave the House of Representatives until January of 2023 next year. And that committee continues to probe former President Trump. They're conducting interviews with witnesses, piling up depositions, and they're going to issue a final report. And that final report in particular will be a moment for Cheney to reemerge on the national scene following this primary defeat.
Well, Bob, I so appreciate talking to you. I know we have many more conversations ahead of us.
Look forward to it.